We are here at NAMMBA, and I'm talking with Kevin Peranio, who is the partner and chief lending officer for PRMG. So we're here at NAMMBA. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've seen at the conference so far?
Yeah, sure. Well, we're a national sponsor of NAMMBA. We've really been into the concept and the idea behind the organization for a couple years now, and this is our first really big presence at the Connect conference, which has been amazing. I mean, there's just a ton of people here. Great content, good panelists, great speakers. It's just been something that really fits well with our corporate culture, and that's one of just a small, privately owned community lender. And this is that kind of philosophy is being rooted in your community is what this conference is all about, and that's every community. Being inclusive of every community. So we're really big fans of this conference.
Yeah. So talk a little bit more about that concept and philosophy around community and being rooted in your community.
Yeah, sure. Well, our company was founded by two guys, Paul Rozo and Robert Holliday. They were originators, and they were in a very small community in the high desert. So it's kind of outside of Los Angeles. And so for them, when you are a local mortgage expert or local real estate expert, it is truly about building bridges, knowing where the good schools are and what goes on, and trying to help people make a sound decision to get the largest purchase ever they make in their life. So for us, that culture has been part of our existence since 2001. So we have a wholesale channel, a retail channel, and we also have a correspondent channel. So we just serve originators wherever they are. So we have a slogan we made up, and other people have tried to steal, is built by originators for originators. And so the idea is, how do we serve our originators in their local communities, no matter how they want to be served? And so it's a really tough mission to kind of be a little bit of everything to everyone, but that's the challenge that we've taken up as a company.
Yeah, and I think that approach is what's most effective in reaching today's buyers who are young and diverse, and every local community and every community group has their own way of doing things. And so you have to be rooted in those communities to do well. So I think that's what gives you an amazing competitive advantage.
Thank you.
So why don't you talk a little bit, you said that you had started a women's group or promoted a women's group in your company. Yeah. Why don't you share a little bit about that?
Sure. We have our CEO and founder is of Colombian descent. And we have always had a really good integration inside minority communities throughout the country. And a couple years ago, we hired someone who's a VP of multicultural lending. And for us, kind of a next step that just felt natural was, let's give our female employees a voice that maybe they don't have. As much as we try to serve our employees and, make them feel like their career could be advanced, it's never enough, right? Mm-hmm. And so, the Empower movement that's been going on with the Mortgage Bankers Association just kind of triggered this idea for us. Let's have our own internal board, if you will, or sounding board. And so we started the PRMG Women's Advisory Council, and we had our inaugural meeting last month, and we have another meeting coming up in 2 weeks. And the idea is, what if I'm a shipper and I'm sitting on the first floor and there's 40 people in the room, and there's something I want to say, but maybe because you don't have a sales personality, you don't get out there and say it, you're maybe uncomfortable. So this is kind of an outlet to give people a voice. And a year ago, we sent out employee surveys to all of our employees. And me and my three partners who run the company, we read every single one. And we're like, wow, this idea of giving people a voice, we're getting some good feedback. And so then we wanted to take that and our diversity and multicultural lending initiatives and take it further and hone in on women. Because at our company, in our sales side, more than half of the President Cabinet winners are women. And they're not just like singularly focused on their career. They're mothers of, our top loan originator has 4 children, and she's the number 1 originator, and she wins every year. And so we have some really high-powered ladies. She even has her own hashtag PRMG leading lady, which is awesome. Yeah. But it's not just about sales. It's just not just about the management people that are naturally gifted at asking for what they want. We wanted to give a voice to all of our employees. So we think this PRMG Women's Advisory Council is a really cool thing to do, and just help strengthen our company and foster careers and give a voice to someone that might not necessarily have it.
Yeah, that's so good. I think making sure that you are giving a voice to people is so important to being able to effectively serve that community as well, not only from a retention standpoint. So any trends that you can share being in the position that you're in, and PRMG is one of the top, 5 mortgage companies in the country, right?
We're top 25 privately owned.
Okay, yeah. So why don't you talk a little bit about what some of the trends that you're seeing in changes and how people do sales or marketing in today's digital environment?
Well, I'm 42, so I kind of straddle that. Like, we got the baby boomers, which is basically your average age of your real estate agent and your loan officer. But then you've got the first-time home buyers who are 32. You've got millennials, and you got Gen Z coming up behind them. So how do you bridge that gap between the experience and maybe someone who isn't necessarily in front of the first-time home buyer that's 32? How do you get them to connect? And so right now, the majority of what I see out there in the industry is originators basically saying, okay, I'm getting a loan from a real estate agent. They're the ones giving me, a referral. But what if those agents get automated, right? I mean, what if all these billions of dollars out there, start to chip away at that referral network? So we're doing a couple things. We're promoting a real strength in numbers approach. We want our originators to really align with the real estate experts, and both of them hone in and emphasize their local expertise, because that's something that a national platform, call center, online lender cannot really take. They can't take that 5, 10, 15, 20 years of local experience of being rooted in that community. And that helps serve the younger millennial first-time homebuyers. But the other thing that we're doing is the eyeballs. Where are the millennial eyeballs? They search about 8 to 9 different places online before they make a decision. And sadly, still to this day, if you are the first originator that a buyer reaches out to, 50% of the time, you're getting the deal. And we don't think that that's really fair to the consumer, right? And what's crazy is if a consumer even shops 2 originators, if you're the first or second originator or realtor, you get the loan 88% of the time. So it's such an involved process. Like, these consumers, they're not taking the time to shop because there isn't a good enough experience. All the experiences out there are self-serving. It's like, we don't want you to shop, right? Yeah. So the ownership of PRMG has invested in a company called Homeowner Now, and it is a national platform that allows consumers to type in one thing, their zip code, and find local experts in their area. And so we think that giving 1, 2, 3, 5, 20, the top 1% of originators and real estate agents on this website that are fully vetted with total transparency, we think that gives the consumer a better experience. But if you're one of those originators or real estate experts that are local on that platform, you now have someone fighting for you on a national level and bringing buyers and putting eyeballs on you, because the younger eyeballs, they're on social media. So we think that this concept is going to be something really good, and that's really
exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And it's back to that mission around being local, having that local approach. So yeah, cool. Well, I thank you so much for your time today. I think that everything you're doing sounds very on point to reach today's young and diverse buyers. So it's an exciting time to be at NAMMBA as well as we're talking about these subjects. So thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.